Hello, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darrell Kwao. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana is expected to make an announcement today on the policy rate after concluding its meetings to review the economy. Now, the policy rate is the rate at which the central bank lends to commercial banks in the country. It influences the rate at which your bank lends to you. Joining me in studio is Joy Business researcher Philip Namfori. So we know that the central bank left the policy rate unchanged last time. What has been the trend generally?
Okay, so the monetary policy rate has been on a downward trend from about 2017 till now. There have been some holds in the rates along the line, but largely overall it's been trending downwards as threats to inflation. That's what this tool is for, to control inflation through lending rates, which will affect what you borrow from the banks, which will affect level of demand for goods and services. So overall, it's been on a downward trend.
So what decision do we expect the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank to take, judging from what you're hearing from analysts and the experts? Okay,
so largely, I think most analysts and experts are of the opinion that the rate will be held at the current rate of 16%. Because, you know, we saw inflation go up marginally in the last announcement by the Ghana Statistical Service. So, like I said, it's all about inflation. That's the main aim of the Monetary Policy Committee and by the rate. So we should expect, all things being equal, that this rate is held at the 16% from what economists and analysts are saying.
All right, so we expect that announcement to be made in the next couple of hours, and so we'll be watching out for that. But another important development I want to bring viewers up to date is our debt, which has increased once again. Talk to me about it.
Okay, so Darrell, anytime we have this debt discussions, people are always of the concern that debt to GDP ratio is going up and is going up. We will borrow as a country to finance our deficits, no doubt. But it's what we use the debt for, to enable us generate enough to pay back. But if you look at the data from Bank of Ghana, you realize that there's a domestic part of the debt and there's an external part. If you look at the domestic part, we borrowed more from last year March to this year March in the domestic market than we've done in the external market. Another factor we should think of is the exchange rate depreciation. Anytime the rate depreciates or the CD falls in comparison to the dollar, then we're going to be paying more on our external debt. So we need to gauge these things. But there are other measures, for example, export of goods and services to your debt. That's one measure, even from the IMF World Bank, on how to measure debt. So it's not just about the debt going up in absolute numbers. We need to look at it from a whole point of view, a very holistic point of view. So I'll say, yes, it's going up in absolute terms, but we must make sure that it doesn't really affect the servicing of the debt. That's the most important part, how we service the debt.
Okay, so as we know it right now, we are hitting 198 billion cedis.
That's almost 200 billion.
22 billion cedis in 4 months. What are the repercussions?
Well, the question is, what are we taking that debt for? What are we using it for? If we're using it for things that can generate enough for us to service and it doesn't eat our revenue, because we use a lot to service the interest payments alone, not principal, just interest payments. So we must make sure that as we are taking the debt, as we are happy we are borrowing 3 billion euro bonds, we must use them for the right things to generate enough to pay back in the long run. That's
all right. Thanks very much indeed for the update. That was Philip Namfori. Now, the Ghana Investment Promotion Center says measures are being put in place to address challenges of capital repatriation that have bedeviled the country's economy for many years. Now, Chief Executive of the GIPC, Yofi Grant, implored players in the investment sphere to cooperate with government to deal with the situation. He believes an enabling business environment is crucial to preventing investors from moving funds elsewhere.
For us at GIPC, investment is not an act, it's a relationship. So we try to build a relationship with them. And I can assure you that the very serious investors who come, they are not looking to come and make money and go away. They are seeing a growing opportunity. And if you see that the market is growing, why would you at that time leave? The important thing is to make sure that, and capital flight is money that goes outside the regulated and legal limits that you set in. And that one, you know, we have to keep working hard to ensure that it doesn't happen. I'm told that a lot of money passes through our airports, etc. And I've been through the airport numbers. I see our security agencies with an eagle eye looking to make sure that people, I'm sure recently you saw a situation where somebody had parked money in a car tied to take it out and they were stopped. So it's not like people are not doing anything. People are working. You know, they're doing it, but it's a big country, we need to all work. And I keep saying that we shouldn't be spectators. As the president said, we should be citizens. In fact, a lot of investors that I've spoken to find it extremely positive because they want to know that they are operating in a legal regime that is correct and true. And they want a properly regulated regime because that is their security.
And that's all in business for this morning. Stay tuned.